Consider that you either feel sure about something or unsure about something. We can link the state of being sure about something to the trial. We have linked that to sphere 9, the imagination. And our trial is to make this moment about this moment, but typically we fail with that because we're either sure about something or we feel we should be sure about something. That is what is causing the suffering. If we truly had beginner's mind, if we knew that we didn't know and it wasn't a problem that we didn't know, then we would be more wu-wei, the fool, and the imagination would not be pulled by the polarities. You can see my other talks for what I mean. From now on, I'm just going to say polarities and make it easier on myself. But at the call, trial, return, bardo, at the call and at the return, we are dealing with not being sure or feeling that we should be sure. That's typically what's happening. But because we know that's typically what's happening, if you find that you're at the call or at the return, and it's not easy to tell where you are, but if you're wondering where you are, typically you're not in the trial, because in the trial you're ordinarily not in your body, not in the present. You're sure about something or sure that you need to know something. But in these other moments, in the spring and in the fall, where yin and yang are mixing together, there's an opportunity to make peace with not knowing. If you can appreciate not knowing, or at least accept not knowing, then life goes more smoothly, and the trial is going to be smoother for you. Because the discord happens due to feeling that we know or that we need to know. So, this mask and shadow, Jung talked about it, and if we're sure about something, it means we're suppressing the part of us that is unsure. And if we're unsure about something and troubled by it, then there's part of us fighting to get to the conscious mind that is sure. We don't know whether that part that is fighting against the surface is correct. Probably it's not 100% correct, otherwise it wouldn't have to fight. It's a polarization. And so what this leaves us is to admit that it's unmanageable and to continue to appreciate not knowing or accept not knowing. And when we failed in that, that's even more reason to make this moment about this moment. The Queen of Cups is our guide, at least thus far, to connecting to our emotions, allowing what is to be arising. And unconditional positive self-regard, unconditional self-acceptance. That is extremely important in the return. And in the last reading that I did, the cards I got for the return, which we have associated with the manifestation, were not very positive cards. They were 5 and 5, which adds up to 10, sphere 10. So if we don't make this moment about this moment, typically then we're in the return, sure about something, sure something is good or bad, thus we're attached, or feel like we should be sure and we're attached. It's extremely important in the return to not be attached, because otherwise we're entering the bardo with resistance. The best thing that we can do, maybe what this is all about, is returning to the bardo, entering the bardo without resistance. We want to have harmony and peace, happiness. We're dropping resistance, and the return to the bardo is the opportune moment to do that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pull another card, because it's a Monday. And when we're facing Mondays, there's going to be a lot of certainty that, oh gosh, another work week ahead is going to be dreadful. Or if we like our job, oh, it's going to be great. Or if we're feeling indecisive about our jobs, or whatever our week is holding if we're not working, we're indecisive, we think we need to be decided about it. We need to render judgment. And you recall the Justice card came up with the bardo, sphere 1, alongside the Magician. We didn't talk about the Justice card, but this is about equality and equity. And if we can find that in our exit from the bardo, as we move down to the call, then we're going to go to sphere 6. If we ignore justice, if we ignore equity, which is typical because we feel the need to know, and you can see that in the justice system, in the legal system, the emperor on the throne or the woman with the scales, there's this belief that the judge professes that they know. They have to do that, otherwise the whole system is seen to be completely arbitrary and subjective, which it is. The Supreme Court has shown us that by reversing their own decision. So even the Supreme is vacillating. And we see that it comes down to opinions in politics. Where this leaves us is the question of, on a Monday, how can we appreciate not knowing? How can we make this moment about this moment? If people trigger us, or if we have judgments about where we should be, how can we find unconditional positive self-regard? Unconditional self-acceptance.